Hi, everybody, and welcome. Tonight, we're so excited. We are going to be having our Sherwin Williams expert, and she is going to fill us in on everything we need to know about the designer resources. And I am actually going to hand it over tonight. Dee Stevens, Dee, I'm so excited that you found us this awesome speaker. So I'm going to let you introduce her, and I am going to be in charge of the slides tonight. So I hope I do a good enough job.
Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you, Sandra, for that introduction. What I'd like to do is introduce Reyna Dominguez. She's the designer account executive for the Metro New Jersey area. And Reyna, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, first and foremost, for inviting me. It's always a pleasure to participate and to network. It's a little bit rough right now, but I'm really glad that we're still able to get together, even if it's virtually, and carve out some time to talk about something so fun like color. My name is Reyna Dominguez. I am a designer account executive here in Metro New Jersey, and what I am is I'm basically an extension of your business in the design world. A resource, someone you can call on, whether it's for a color sample or if you have a specific product that you're interested in learning a little bit about more, or you're in need of even CEUs. I'm able to help you out with that. I facilitate a lot of CEUs, a lot of presentations like this, just so that you're able to stay, up to date with everything that's happening, the latest tools, the latest information. So that's really what I do. I live in a world of color and I am passionate about it, and I can never stop talking. I always have something that I want to share with you.
Well, that's just wonderful. I would think that everybody should just take a minute to reach out to your, local and regional Sherwin-Williams rep just to introduce yourself, let them know that you're available, or that just to start to connect, because they're worth their weight in gold. I have, you know, reached Reyna a couple of about a month ago or so, and her predecessor, I was working with her, for a couple of years as well, and she's just wonderful, just
This would
wonderful.
be a good time to ask too. I'm just curious, everybody on tonight, if you have connected with your Williams rep, raise your hand. Okay. Okay. Well, let me tell you, like Dee just said, it is so valuable because you need an extra color deck or you need this emerald color deck. I mean, just so let that be a priority. And we'll tell you at the end of the call exactly how to do that, so that we don't want you to miss out on these great resources.
Yep,
All right.
absolutely. And if you're not in the Metro New Jersey area, we're all connected. I work with a team all over the Eastern Division, and we talk on a daily basis. So we'll be happy to connect you with someone, whether it's in the Eastern area or across the country. We have no problem just sending you over to the right person, so that way you don't have to go scavenge for them.
All right. So are we ready to start the presentation, everyone? Rena,
Yeah,
Sandra?
absolutely.
You want me
Okay.
to flip? Okay, am I going to the next slide?
Yes, please. All right. So color tools and color. That's going to be the main focus of today's presentation. I really want to touch base on what we have to offer, just because I think it's so important, especially now. I know a lot of us are working from home. Maybe you had a designer kit in an office or somewhere else, but it's important that you're up to date and that you understand all of the tools that are available to you at no charge. So just for being in the trade and just for being interested in working with us, you're able to access these tools right here. And if we go into the next slide, I can show you all of the components that come into it. So on the picture here, you can see it comes organized in a little messenger bag. So that way you can take it on the go. And it's 8 different binders that are basically all of our colors that are on a Sherwin Williams showroom, but they're organized by different colors. So they're organized by your reds, they're organized by your blues, your neutrals, your whites. That way, whenever you sit down with a client or whenever you're specifying a color, you know exactly where to go. It comes with a fan deck as well, so that way you can flip through the fan deck, you can see the different colors, the different variations that we offer, and also on here it's called a palette guide, which is a different version of a fan deck. Actually, one of my favorite tools, and from what I hear, it's a very favorite one. It looks almost like a booklet with smaller little chips of those same colors that you can find in the fan deck or on the binders. And it just really helps to see whether a customer wants a neutral blue or they want a really deep blue. It's just so easy to flip through it like a magazine and see what the colors are. You'll be able to order this through myself or through your local Sherwin Williams rep. It will be shipped to you. So all you would have to do is pretty much put it together, which is very, very easy. It shows you the different sheen, the different gloss intensities that we have in our products. It also has the phone number. So if you need larger samples, or if you need to refill your binders with the color samples, you can always call that number instead of sending us an email or a text message with the colors that you're in need of. And now you have 2 options for your ColorSnap kit. You can get it on the messenger bag, or you can get a little shelf like the one shown down here. So if you're working from home, or if you prefer to display your kit, you can always do that. One of our favorites is the messenger bag, just because it's so easy to transfer wherever you go. And here's a little picture of that booklet form of the fan deck I was showing you. It's really, really useful. It's very lightweight. You can just toss it in your bag and kind of narrow down the colors, and then have us send out a sample that's 8 by 11 to your client of the colors that they've selected, just so that you're saving a little bit of time going back and forth with different colors. On the next slide, you can see that you can sign up for a free Sherwin Williams account if you don't have one already. It's a really good online resource. So if you go to mysw.com, you can sign up as a design professional, and you can order the samples that are 4x4, which are going to be the ones that fit into those little binders for your kid. Or you can order a little bit larger samples. Those are 5x8, and as well as the 8x11s. So you can choose to send them to yourself and put them together in a nice presentation for your client, or we can even send them out directly to your client, so that you're limiting that time, you're limiting that personal contact. You can save your favorite colors and project information. If you are using an account to purchase the paint itself, you can link that on there as well. That way you can view the purchases or even place online orders, so that way you're saving some time. You can also download our ColorSnap app, which will be another very valuable digital color tool that we'll talk about a little bit later on.
And Reyna, I'll just tell you what I did recently, and some of you gals have had the color class. I love ordering the 8x10s, 8x11s in a variety of the hues for the whites, because it's easier to see the 4x4s if you're looking at a color in that space, but it's so helpful for the 8x11s in the whites to be able to see those in the space. And that's the thing, guys, when you get such a helpful rep and a helpful company like Sherwin Williams behind you, listen, all you have to do is pick up that huge professional color deck and see how much it weighs. to really appreciate that they are sending you that for free. I don't know what shipping is, but yeah, it's like thank you, Sherwin Williams.
Yeah, no, and once you have your favorites, honestly, I put together binders of, let's say, your 10, 15 go-to colors, your go-to grays, because everybody loves grays, right? That way you always have them on deck. You don't have to wait for me or for the shipping to be arriving to your client. You always have some on deck because you'll get to know your go-to colors. So yeah, it's definitely great to have.
Well, and I'll throw this in too because I have started using this. We used to curate even if it was a little photo album from the Dollar Tree, we would label it with our business card. But now you can give a client their colors by using the color folio because you just slip in how many 4x4s can you fit in there? I forgot.
Let me grab one right here.
12 or 15, I think. Um, but put your business card on it too. But that is, I mean, clients love it when you first of all walk in the door with this professional look, and now you have curated the colors for them in this color folio. You
Mhm.
just look professional.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can fit 12 on each side, or you can always fit those and then insert your business card at the bottom. That's what I usually like to do, just have your business card there as a reference. That way, if they ever need repaint or anything else, they can just refer to that and keep the business going that way. All right. So now let's talk about specification tools. So what are those? Aside from the color, we can help you put together that kind of nice professional finished finish. Once it's kind of like a shopping list. I know when I worked in the store personally, it was really confusing for a homeowner or for someone going through a renovation to think about what sheen to use. What do you mean there's different kinds of paints that I can put on the wall? Paint is paint. But when you're on the other end, no, paint is not just paint. We have paints for contractors to flip a home that are going to be $10, $20 a gallon. And then we're going to have higher grades of paint that are going to be low VOC, that are going to be great for a baby's nursery or for a small bathroom that has no ventilation, and that's going to prevent those issues down the line. So when you're providing your client with the finish schedule, you're giving them everything they need on that list. You're giving them the color, you're giving them the paint product, and you're giving them the sheen. So you're in control of the complete look. You're not leaving it up to the painter. Maybe they have pets in the house and they need something that's washable and scrubbable, but you know that they need a flat because the home is not that new. So you need to hide the imperfections. And the painters go to are probably eggshell and whatever is cheaper for them. Their concern is put the paint up and go to the next job. And it's in your best interest to look out for the client and anticipate those kind of problems for them down the line. So with our finish schedules, not only do we put that together for you, but we also put your name and your company information or your logo next to ours. So that sets you apart from the company and from the competition, and it just makes you stand out a little bit better, and it gives you that credibility that everyone's looking for today.
Reyna, here's a good question. Is this finish schedule on the designer, on the my Sherwin Williams account, or is this a printed schedule?
So we have two different versions. If you go to Spec Express, there should be one on there under your account where you can build it yourself. There's another really nice version. I'm not sure if we have a picture up here of it, but what I do, or like let's say one of you were to send it to me within 24 hours, I can put it together. I'll go through the paint products with you. I'll take care of all those little numbers, the difficult parts of building it, and add a little swatch of the color on there digitally. So that way it looks different than the one you're able to create under your account. You can even submit pictures through me if you're at the site, or if your client's sending you pictures of the spaces, we can attach that as well, attach your logo. So it kind of just customizes a little bit more, but you're definitely able to build something as well.
Okay,
Well,
that is a great tool.
it is a great tool.
We
Yeah.
did have one other question that we'll answer before we go further.
Mhm.
Lisa in Canada, hey Lisa, what is the folio called? It was color folio. I'll show you real quick before we get too far ahead so you can see it. Right here.
Yep, and that comes with your kit as well. So if you already have a kit and maybe you're missing a folio, or if you need a couple extra fan decks, whenever you're ordering your tools, just let us know. You know, maybe you have two people helping you out and you just need them to have an extra fan deck. You don't need 3 different sets. Just make notes there. We'll be happy to either replace or add on some of the items for you as well. Oh, yep, this is the paint finish schedule I was telling you about. So as you can see here, it's a PDF version that you can keep for your records. You can email to your contractor or your painter. I can email it to the store ahead of time for you. That way they're expecting you, they know what product they're gonna need, how many gallons they're gonna need. It's very detailed. So if you're someone that really, really likes to take control of your project and wants to make sure, you know, everything's as ironed out as possible, this is a great tool for you. Not only does it save you admin time, but it also details the color. It details the specific product that you want to use. It has the color name and number, so there's no error there. It labels it whether you're putting it as a primer or as a top coat, and it tells you what surface it's going to be going on. It tells you the label, so if it's going to go in a master bathroom or master bathroom ceiling, I will note that on there. It will include some information on the cleanup and the product itself. So if this is something that the painter has never worked with before, let's say, or if the homeowner is applying it themselves, with that product information, they can handle touch-ups, they can handle the proper roller covers that are going to be needed. If, let's say, we're working with an exterior product, it will detail on there what's the best surface temperature, what's the best humidity temperature. Maybe it's, you know, a climate where there's a lot more humidity. So all that information is going to be on there.
Wow, that's good. I mean, that
Well,
almost makes you look so smart. You know, you Sherwin Williams has helped you make it look smart.
Yeah, yeah, it absolutely does. And honestly, you don't have to know everything. You know, you don't have to know all of our products. As long as you have something like this and you're reaching out to your designer account executive, we'll put it there for you. You don't have to memorize every single paint line that we carry. So here is the other two, Spec Express, which is where you can build your own spec. Now, I personally leave it up to you if you want to try this one out, and if you're more comfortable doing it yourself and building it on your own, that's more than fine. Sometimes you might be in a rush, or you might have a lot of projects going on at once, and then you can always reach out to me and I'll be able to help you out with that as well. Or if you just personally like the way it looks and the format we talked about before, I'd be more than happy to always be the one building it for you. We do this all day, so we know the paint can numbers, the size numbers, and everything.
So here's a really good question too. On the finish schedule, who determines the number of gallons per room?
So normally we can give you some guidance. Like let's say if you give me the square footage, typically a gallon of paint will cover about 350 to 400 square feet. But normally, like let's say if you already had a discussion with your painter, if the painter's involved, they can also advise you on how much will be needed based on what they're doing. If they're, let's say, priming the surface and stuff like that will definitely affect how much will be needed. If you are going over a wall that's already been painted in the same color and you're just doing a fresh coat, that will change it as well. You know,
Uh,
so we'll definitely provide some guidance, and it's also good to talk about it with your painter so that way we're able to come up with something together because the painter's seeing it. You know, they're seeing if there's a water damage issue where you'll need an extra gallon of primer and stuff like that.
Terry, I always let the person who's responsible for delivering the finished product let them estimate it because I mean, I mean, we know what color we like, but it's up to them to calculate it, because if they way over by, then they can answer to the homeowner.
Yep, absolutely. And always make, like you said, it's an estimate and things happen. There might be a moisture issue that pops up and things like that. So it's always good to emphasize that it is an estimate. All right, now moving on to the fun stuff, digital stuff, right? We're all working virtually, and we've had this app for a while now, but we have not seen as much traction as today. Our digital tools are available for our phone, for our tablet, and for our desktop. Personally, I love the phone version and the tablet the most. The tablet version allows you to get more detailed when you're snapping a picture of your wall live, or when you're uploading your own picture and trying to paint it virtually. On the phone, it's just super easy when you're on a call with a client and they're telling you, I'm thinking of gray or I'm thinking this color. You can just quickly start pulling a palette together and texting it over to them. If we hit next, we'll walk through a little bit more of the functions that we have. So on here, you can see that you can match a photo. That's our first picture right here on the phone. If someone has, let's say, a rug they love or a painting that they love, they can snap a photo of that and get some inspiration as to what colors will work nice or what kind of blue is in this rug. You can move those little dots around from your app and kind of see different gradients. Maybe you want to try that off-white on there on the pillow, or you want to try the gray on the wall. And then once you hit save palette or share palette, you'll be able to see the next photo on here, which will generate a list of matching or coordinating similar Sherwin-Williams colors that will be put together for you. You can share that from a text message directly on there. You can share it on Pinterest. You can share it on your email. It's just so easy and so useful to have to just move quickly. If you're estimating or you're on your first consultation, if you're able to just provide them with kind of an idea, it gives you more of a security that they'll go with you for the job, because you're already taking that next step into the process instead of, okay, we'll call you and we'll have a next discussion later. So it's just really easy to move on into the process or to speed up things. We all know of people who are very indecisive when it comes to picking color. So it's really good to at least see it. If they like a gray or if they like a blue, we have preset images so that you can start trying on colors in some simulated spaces, whether it's a kitchen or a bedroom or outside. It will say it on there. Some colors like very, very bright orange might not be available for exterior, but it will label it on there. It will also give you the light reflective value of the color. It will give you similar colors. It will give you where it's located on the Fandex strip or on the actual color wall of the store. And you can even see this image day or night. One of my favorite tools, which we'll talk about a little bit ahead, is probably on this next slide or two, which is our virtual reality paint. Here we have a little video just talking about the whole application itself. Are you able to click on it to play it?
Oh, look at you. Here, let me see if
Oh, yep.
can you hear it? I can't.
Oh, it doesn't look like it, but it's okay. So basically, it's going over how you can literally stand in front of a wall. Obviously, you need it to be well lit, so we wouldn't be able to do it tonight with my lights off and stuff.
Okay, what
But
I'll
if
do
you're
is
standing,
I will just put that in the chat box. Let me see if I can do that. At the end, guys, I'll put it in the chat box and then you can play it. Is that okay?
perfect. Yep, that's fine. So you're able to just start
Can you
painting a
hear
wall
me?
virtually. Are you still there?
I am.
Can you hear me?
Sandra.
Let's see, Sandra is there. Sandra, you there? Okay, a question on what you just, she'll be right back. A question on what you just showed. So I can
Can we
literally
hear?
hold my phone up in front of my own wall and touch the things and watch it change right then and there, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That's
So
what
you can
that's
start
what, even though I couldn't hear the sound on that video, I could tell
Mhm,
that's what was happening. And it was like, that
mhm.
was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You can upload a pre-existing picture. So if you go to someone's home, take a
Testing.
picture of it, and then upload it later, you can do that. Or you can just stand in front of your living room and hold your phone and start tapping on the colors, and it will start trying on the colors. If you do it from your tablet, it will
That's
go into
ColourSNAP.
detail as to doing like the trim, doing an accent wall, doing the ceiling. So you're able to control it and maybe even generate kind of like a rendering for your client. So right now you have this bright orange on the wall. This is what it might look like if we go with a light gray.
Hello.
There you are. We got you, Sandra.
Oh, hello, welcome
Um,
back.
okay, let
Can you
me
hear me?
finish asking that. This is Carol again.
Mhm.
All right, if you can hear me, raise your
So
hand.
I can hold it up and show it happening right then and there, and then I can make it a still and send it to them after I've done that.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Or you can do it backwards. If you snap a picture first, instead of standing there and holding it, you can snap a picture and then it will just ask if you want to allow the phone and the application to access your photos. You can upload that photo and start tapping onto the colors that you want to try on and share it from there as well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Yes.
you, Sandra. Sandra? I can see the screen, Sandra. Okay. You are, okay, Dee, can you hear me?
I can, Carol.
Do you hear Sandra?
No.
She's working on it. And I don't know if I can change the slides. I don't have this. Sandra, change the slides if you can hear us, and we'll just let Reyna continue. Can you hear us?
Okay, now I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Yes,
Yes.
there you are, girlfriend.
I don't know what happened. When I clicked on the video, it lost me. So, okay, I am back. We are cooking here. Okay, I'm not going to hit that, but what I will do for everybody, I will copy that link and put it in the chat box so that you can listen to that. I guess it was time for me to be quiet there. Okay, I'm going to keep going.
Perfect. Awesome. So here's a prime example of what we were just talking about, how you can tap on the wall. This is an addition in progress of a construction site, and what we were able to do with our tablet, it has a lot more tools, so you can start going into more details of, you know, doing the trim or doing like an accent wall, like I said before. You can save down here, the little bar will be what it's called your palette, and that from that you can build it and share it or save it under, let's say, Michael's home. That way, you know, that's an ongoing job. You have that palette there to refer to. It's just really, really, really fun for something like this, whether it's new construction or a renovation, just to start visualizing and getting the customer to start picturing what their home could potentially look like. Now let's talk about our paints. Like I mentioned before, we have a lot of paints to choose from, whether it's for interior or exterior. We also have a line for a lot of flooring, for heavier buildings, for schools, for bridges. But I'm not going to go into those details. Today, I'm going to talk to you about our premium interior products, which is probably what we'll encounter the most. So some of our interior paints are, if you just hit the next slide. So we'll start by the very top. We have a hierarchy of paints, and at the very top, it will be our Emerald paint product. Emerald has a very, very fine paint line, and it covers beautifully. I am all about the color, and I love painting. I just can't do it. I can't. I could not paint for a living. This is why I just talk about the color. But Emerald, it just has that technology that when you're applying it, when it rolls up on the wall, first you'll be in shock and you'll be like, oh my goodness, it's gonna look horrible, because it'll start drying off here and there, and you'll see the brush marks, the roller marks. You can doodle your name on there if you want. But once it's dry, it kind of just blends in together and it stretches out to look nice and professional. So it's my favorite paint product for that purpose, and because it comes in a washable flat. I am a fan of a flat or a matte because it hides those imperfections. But I also want to make sure my walls stay clean. I love light colors, so I want to make sure that they're clean, that I'm able to wipe them, that if I'm working on a living room where there's going to be a lot of traffic, when there's going to be gatherings where little fingerprints are going to go everywhere, I can wipe that. So Emerald is going to give you that. It's going to cover very well. It's going to go over darker colors very easily as well. So that cuts down on a lot of the labor, which I'm not a fan of. Now, duration will sit right below Emerald, and that is my go-to for bathrooms. And it's my go-to for bathrooms because it has a very, very excellent moisture resistant technology. So let's say you're working on a bathroom where there's not a lot of ventilation, or where there's only one shower in the building or the apartment, and you need to flip this bathroom, right? Within 24 hours, they're going to be able to shower again. And that technology is already going to be working, and it's going to be curing, and you're not going to have an issue with disabling that bathroom for a whole week. So it's definitely my go-to for a bathroom. It covers very nicely, and it also has some of that cross-linking technology that is going to not only repel the stains, but start forming that uniform paint finish. Now,
And also in here
Mhm.
too is that emerald paint. I've had clients that wanted to paint their cabinets themselves. I mean, just why? But anyway, but I mean, of course, to save money. But the emerald paint honestly made the finished job look so professional.
Yeah, absolutely. That would probably be our emerald urethane trim enamel, which is for cabinets and trim and doors, which should probably be on the next slide. But yeah, emerald just has a family of outstanding paints. That way you can complement it with having the walls with the emerald paint, and then having that trim, having those cabinets. Like you said, it does give them that factory finish. Or even better, if you're working with a painter and they're spraying it, oh my goodness, it looks like you have brand new cabinets on those kitchen walls or on that vanity bathroom piece. Now, Harmony is great for times where you're not able to, let's say, have people leave the house and you need to repaint. It's zero VOCs, so it's essentially odorless. It helps to improve the air quality and lower those VOC levels that are already in the room. So if there's maybe like an issue with a home that you just purchased, and it's been abandoned, or it smells like cigarette because people in there were smokers, or things like that, it helps to fight those odors and stabilize the quality of the air inside the space. Now, it's always recommended to do 2 coats no matter what kind of product you're using, but particularly with Harmony, I like to reinforce that because that's the way it's going to get this technology to be working properly. Now, the emerald urethane trim enamel is the one we were discussing for the doors, the trim, and the beauty of this product is that not only it's going to work well for your trim and for your doors and your cabinets indoors, but also for outdoors. So if you're using it inside, if you're using it in those cabinets, it's just going to tell you that it's going to be great just because it's indoor and outdoor resistant. I've personally dealt with accounts for commercial spaces like Victoria's Secret, the little stands where they display their pieces. A lot of us are touching it, you have the nails bumping against it. it resists very, very well. So it has that very hard resin finish without it being an oil formula.
And roughly, how much is this emerald urethane? That's one of the questions, which is a good question because something
Yep.
that's so versatile like that, you expect it to have a high price tag.
Yep, absolutely. So list price for an emerald gallon of the emerald trim enamel, it should be about $90 where I am right now in New Jersey. But with your professional account, you should be set up in our system. And if you're not, you can always reach out just to confirm. You receive a 20% off on all paints and stains. And then, if you decide to open up what we call a charge account, where you have a line of credit and you're purchasing higher volumes of paint, you can work with our professional painter rep or products rep so that we can negotiate a different price. If let's say you have two favorite products that you're going to be purchasing all the time, they're able to formulate a different kind of price with you. And we have also sales all year round. So if there's a sale for 40% off, obviously that's always gonna override your discount. So whatever's greater will apply. But at least you have your 20% off secured just for being a professional.
And it goes back to just don't forget to ask.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Get in touch with us, Yeah, because there are some things that are there and are available to you, but unfortunately, because especially now we're not seeing each other, we're not communicating, you're not reaching out, or we might not catch you at a good time to talk, we're not able to inform you of all these things that are available to you and your painter as well if they decide to purchase through you. Now, so we added a new family member to our Emerald collection line, and this is our Emerald Designer Edition. Something we were very nervous about in the beginning of the year because we were launching a brand new product and it was exciting, and then we were all on lockdown. So thankfully we were still able to launch on our predicted date of April 1st, and we launched our Emerald Designer Edition, which is a line that was made for people like us. It was a new line that was able to do everything that the regular Emerald does, but better. And it came with 200 additional new colors. Let me see, is there a little video on there? I don't know if you want to play that in the end, just to be
I will
safe.
play that in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll watch that video on the end, but you can see on there how well it withstands like the burnishing and how it's able to withstand all of that traffic just so much better than the regular Emerald. It's available in a flat satin and a gloss. Is there another slide on there? Yep, there we go. So it's available in a flat, a satin, and a gloss. Our regular Emerald is not available in a gloss. So if you're looking for something shinier, something that will give you more of that mirror-like wow factor, this product will have it. It comes with 200 new exclusive colors, which were pretty much designed to fill in those gaps that you might have already noticed in our current fan deck. So instead of coming up with a whole new color system, because we like our system and we don't want to confuse you anymore, we just put together this new 200 colors that are exclusive to Designer Edition Emerald. It's gonna have that flawless finish that we talked about with Emerald. It's gonna be very easy to clean and scrub and wipe. And of course, it's available nationwide. We have a little microsite down at the bottom here. So if you want to learn more about the Emerald Designer Edition, you can always go on there, download the palette, see it available near you, or always reach out and I'd be happy to either send you the brochures or a fan deck with the 200 brand new colors.
And when I get out of PowerPoint, I will copy this link and put it in the chat box too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And here's my contact info. Go ahead.
No, I'll pop Reyna's contact in there also, guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm always a phone call or a text message or an email away. I'm also on social media. I know a lot of us are connecting a little bit differently. So definitely, I'm always posting information on there or sharing the events that we have happening. Be sure to follow Sherwin Williams on there. They always announce like our color of the month inspiration there, or they highlight designers every month. So it's just good to have that extra connection and see what else is out there, what's happening that I haven't told you about just yet.
I so agree. So guys, I've got a lot of questions, Reyna. Allie, I so agree. So Allie and I have both seen the color deck. I will tell you one thing that I absolutely love, because we just did a trends webinar and a virtual conference. And one of the things that we were talking about that is starting to trend is kind of, I don't want to say getting rid of, but leaning away from those really cool grays, but going towards more of what we called mushrooms. And when you get your Emerald Designer Edition and you flip through and you think of, I don't want you to think of mushroom as like a brown, but more of a neutral color with a touch of brown added. So much of this Emerald collection is what I would say is trending. Even some of, I would say the first 2/3 of it. So it is a great color deck. Be sure and get that. We have one question. Where do Canadians go for this?
So we also have a team for designer account executives in Canada. If you want to get in touch with me and I just forward you their information, I'd be happy to do that. If not, I can share the information directly with you, and then you can pass it along to them, whatever is easier for you. But yes, there's absolutely help for you out there as well.
Okay, this is a really good question, because can the special colors be made into another series of paint? So in other words, can we take any color from the regular fan deck and ask you to make that into an emerald paint?
So for the designer edition emerald, you can only have either one of those new 200 colors or anything from our existing colors. Now, just it won't work the other way around. If you love, one of the colors from our new 200 designer edition emerald fan deck, you won't be able to put it in, let's say, like a duration or a regular emerald. It just wouldn't formulate that way.
Okay, and this may answer that question. I'm going to read it out loud just to make sure I'm interpreting it correctly. I had a client look up the formulas and compare to other mainline colors and ask if the slight differences could be overridden to be in super paint. So I'm assuming when you mean super paint, you mean emerald line. You know what, Diane?
Yes, so super paint's another one of our paint products that falls after Harmony, and it sits next to Cashmere. It's not one of the ones we talked about today, but
Okay.
yes, I have seen cases where they've tried formulating the colors into another one of our paint lines. However, it's not something we really advise to do, because there will be a noticeable difference. Maybe when we're drying it on a piece of paper or on a piece of cardboard at the store, it looks like it's not a difference, but once you're putting it up on the wall in an open space in a different light, it will make a difference. Just because the bases for the Emerald Designer Edition are brighter, are cleaner, and are, really better and easier to clean as well.
Okay, and so I think just repeating almost exactly what Reyna just said, even though you are saying no, basically you're telling your client, no, that can't happen, but you're saying it in such a professional way. You're almost protecting them from wasting some money if they think they're going to translate that. So I love the way that you said that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so here's one other question. I'm just going to go through them. Would the Emerald Designer Edition be included in the sample kit?
The fan deck, you would have to make a note on there that you would like to request one of those.
Okay, and then will Sherwin Williams ever add the ceilings as a paintable surface? I often specify an actual color for a ceiling, other than white, but can't do it for Sherwin Williams paint on the Sherwin Williams app. So basically, Allie, that's a good question. You want to see the ceiling painted in ColorSNAP, is that correct? Let me know if that's what you mean. Because of course we can pick out any color for the ceiling. You just want to have a visual, and that's question mark after that. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, when uploading my own photo on the web color tool, I never have success painting over a brick fireplace or really dark surface. It almost comes out transparent and nowhere near the color I'm trying to apply. Any suggestions?
So whenever you're painting over the fireplace, you saying your phone or your tablet?
Phone or tablet? This is Allie.
One thing I do want to say, like if you're working with the tablet, it does get a little bit more precise. And it also lets you kind of dig into smaller areas. Like that question before that was talking about the ceiling, you're able to do the ceiling. Or another thing I would try is taking a picture of the place first and then uploading it. That way the system kind of takes care of leveling out the surface and then putting on the color.
So that's good to know. iPads are better, or your tablet is better than, you know, them sending you a photo and you putting it on your laptop and trying to do it.
Yes, the iPad is very, very precise and specific. Personally, I feel like it's better.
Do you recommend that over your laptop?
Over your laptop for smaller areas, yes.
Okay.
Okay, this is such a good question because this is where I think we earn our money. Most of the painters seem to default to super paint products. This is where I think, guys, I'm sorry, I'm going to answer this, Reyna.
No, go ahead.
We are the experts. I can't tell you how many times I've had, you know, even I have got some amazing flippers and they're like, okay, we're going to paint the ceiling white. This is the first project we did. And I'm like, no, we're not. And I mean, and I'm pretty, you know, I'm trying to incorporate what they might want or their budget, but it's like, no, we're not. So this is where I think you get to, you make the new default, so to speak, Allie.
Yeah,
and anything you want to add to that, Reyna?
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Painters are, I worked in the stores and I totally get it. I get it. It's a challenging conversation to have, but it's definitely important to be involved in the, you know, in the painting process early as to like address any issues and concerns that the homeowner might have, whether they have children, whether they have a lot of gatherings happening in the kitchen. Super paint's not going to be able to be as cleanable as an emerald or suturation. And, you know, it might work well for the painter. It might be easy for the painter to apply because that's all they use all the time, right? So you can't go to the doctor with a stomachache and tell them what to do, what procedure, what tools to use. So that's kind of the way I put it for them. You know, you're also an expert. Give yourself the credit that you deserve. You have us as a resource, and we see it all the time. We deal with different situations and more specific scenarios because one size does not fit all. Every project is very different and it has very different needs. And unfortunately, it is a difficult conversation, and it is a challenge to get them to try something different. And a lot of the times they end up liking, they might not admit it at first, but they end up liking the different product because it saves them labor, it applies differently, it covers better. And at the end of the day, it's going to reflect on the designer because they specify the color. So if it's picking up dust, they think it might be the color, when in reality it might have been the paint that was used, that it's not washable and it's not cleanable.
Exactly. In fact, I was brought to a job after the painter had been selected and he was pushing a color and I was not agreeing. And finally later we had a moment by ourselves and I said, okay, what's the deal? He goes, well, I've just got an extra 5-gallon container.
Right.
And like, well, you're not using it on this job. It's like, so it was very eye-opening, just because, if they're pushing it. Okay, I'm going to read Elizabeth's question because this is good. I just want to make sure I'm understanding it. Okay, what's the use of the ColorSnap tool list, $100 to match paint colors?
What's the use of the ColorSnap tool you
Tool
said?
list. Yeah. You know what, Elizabeth? I'm going to see if I can open your mic so you can verbalize that, just in case I'm maybe. Okay, there you are. Okay, get ready, Elizabeth. No yelling at the children.
Ready, thank you.
Can you hear, Elizabeth?
Yeah,
Can you
I can, thank you. I'm glad to know the iPad seems to get a more accurate color for photos. But if you're trying to match an existing paint color in a home and they don't know what it is, but you want to, let's say you weren't going to refresh the whole living room, you might just want to do the hallway. I thought there was a little ColorSnap tool about the size of your palm that you had to purchase that you could match, like, I don't know if you hold it up to the wall. It's by Sherwin Williams, and then it's supposed to help you match a paint color.
Okay, yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. Our ColorSnap match tool, the one that works via Bluetooth and connects to your already existing app.
Yes. Can you tell me a little bit about that tool and how accurate it is and if it's
Yep.
worth the investment?
Absolutely. So it would be worth it if that's something that you do a lot or something that you struggle a lot on. If you spend a lot of time, let's say, trying to match a color, and you're going back and forth with getting samples, going up to the wall with the fan deck, going to the store, getting those little tiny samples, putting it up in the wall, and you just can't do it. I would totally invest in it, or even reach out to your designer account executive, see if she's able to help you out with one of those. It really works via Bluetooth. It connects to your phone and your existing ColorSnap app. So
Yeah.
when I was in the stores, I used it a lot for residential spaces where they changed management and they had no idea what was on the walls, right? So we would bring that little tool. It has a little cap where you can reset it, kind of like wipe the palette of it so it's nice and fresh. You put it up against the wall and it'll scan the surface. As long as it's flat, clean, and dull, it will generate the suggested closest Sherwin-Williams color matches. And then you will have a fresh number and name to go off of instead of a formula. You can also do it by taking a little sample off the wall about the size of a quarter. If you bring it into a stores, we're able to scan that in a similar way, except it won't tell you what our closest Sherwin-Williams color is, but it will instead generate a formula. So if you're doing touch-ups later on, or if you want to keep on using that, it's not going to have a name from our fan deck. It's going to be just like a bunch of little numbers.
Right. Yeah, I have a client in there. It's the parents' home, but they could use to touch up areas, and they, it's a dated home, so I'm trying to convince them to get rid of all the wallpaper borders in all the, in all the rooms if they can. But I know they don't want to repaint the whole first floor. And I thought if I could somehow, get that color close enough for them that it wouldn't be as noticeable, if a painter just did that top 6 or 8 inches. And,
Right.
and for that, instead of repainting the whole, the whole first floor, like I said, but it would, you'd need something really close. Like really close, so it doesn't show as, the eye wouldn't be drawn to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you would need that, or like I said, if you want to get even a little bit closer, just because you're going to be doing the top of the wall, I would see if you can scrape off about a quarter size of a little paint sample from there, and show them on your app maybe different options as well. Do a rendering with our ColorSnap app, and they might end up going for no more wallpaper if they like the colors that you suggest.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. That's very helpful.
No problem. Good luck.
I'll tell you, Elizabeth, what I did for 2 houses back to back. It just so happened one had a water leak and one had just bought a house and there was something removed. And I used the free version of the ColorSnap, that ColorSnap app that's free. I zeroed in on as close as, it gave me a good launching point. And
Yes.
then I used my eye, and one of them, the ColorSnap app was dead on. And the other one, I varied it like one strip over. And we just feathered it in ever so slightly to see if we could blend it, because it was an older paint, like you were saying. So, I mean, I think both of those apps can be useful, but, just at least it will get you as the expert, kind of zeroed in on a place to start.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oops. Okay, guys, I'm just trying, let me get the last of these questions, and then I'm going to give you okay, let's see, we got Elizabeth. The homeowner seems to feel the painter knows best. Well, he doesn't. That is where by the time you talk about the hue, the value, the saturation, and the trends that are happening in this new emerald color line, the painter will back off, I think. Always wonder if the painter gets a higher profit margin from the, oh yeah, that's funny. You do feel like sometimes. Okay, let's see. Will Sherwin Williams, indicate colors that relate to connect within the regular color deck? I'm going to just say this. I think sometimes Sherwin Williams and paint developers make these amazing lines, and I think it does give us a little space as the experts to, shine. Like, we get to curate the colors that work best for our clients versus, because every room is different. By the time you throw in the light and the elements in the space and those colors that are going to influence it, that's where I think it's so good to have these awesome color samples that Sherwin Williams provides us for free, so that we can then say, okay, let's look at that paint sample in the morning, the noontime, at night, and see how that light reflective value is affected. That's where we get to kind of, let's face it, earn our salary. Okay, let me see. Any other, let's see.
A lot of great questions, I have to say.
I know, aren't these good? So this one has to do with sheen. Any way to determine the sheen accurately and not just guess and cross your fingers kind of thing?
So a sheen that's already existing on the wall, or specifying a sheen?
The sheen that's already existing.
So you really have to shine some light on it, and I would look at it from an angle as well. Also try to feel it out. Like, if you touch it and it's rough, you can feel it like it's rough, like it's chalky. It's got to be a flat. If you shine the light on it and nothing's reflecting, nothing's bouncing back, confirm it's a flat. Your fan deck actually has a sheen guide in the back, so kind of like a little cheat sheet for you that you can put next to the sheen on the wall, and you'll be able to compare next to it what it looks like.
That's a very good point. I always say I know it's a flat if it makes my skin crawl. If I touch it, I just can't stand it. But it does, I mean, builders love it because it hides any imperfection. Okay, I think we, okay, I think, oh no, here's one other one. Will tinting the primer reduce the amount of paint needed? Should we suggest that or leave it up to the painter to suggest?
So tinting the primer has to do with the color that you're choosing. It's another little cheat shortcut that we put together into your fan deck. Not sure if you already have one of your fan decks, but if you don't, once you receive yours, you can look in the back of, let's say, a deep blue or a red or an orange. It should have in the back of a color a circle with a P, whether it's P1 through 7. Now, that will tell you that it needs primer shade 1 through 7. And a lot of the times the painters like to tint the primer to the color that they're going to paint the wall. Unfortunately, that just leads to more coats, and it takes longer, and you're applying more paint on there, and the color might not be the true color. So what we've done is we put together a little sheet next to the sheen guide on your fan bag that has the different kinds of grays that you need to tint the primer to, so that it neutralizes the color before you apply a new color, and it will get you to the truest color the faster way.
Okay, that was worth the price of admission right there. I mean,
For
who knew
sure.
that?
Yeah, it's like a little secret, and it's a very underutilized tool. It really saves you from anything. Like if you add that to your specification, to that little shopping guide that we discussed, you know, if you specify that on there, and then the painter comes back, it's not going over, it's not covering, you're going to be able to go back. Well, did you use the primer that I asked you to apply? You know, it just really is to save you.
And that's where you earn, you know, besides your education and your color knowledge and all that, that's where the homeowner looks at you and go, oh my gosh, thanks for having my back, kind of thing. And they're not going to make one color decision in their home going forward until they pick up the phone and they call you. Dee, I need you for the guest bedroom. You know, Carol, I need, you know, so it's like makes you so valuable to them. Okay, I think we have actually gone over a little bit. I appreciate everybody hanging with us tonight. We've answered all the questions. I thought I would throw this up. This is a thank you. If you have not had the Confident Color System certification class and you want to earn it, and we use Sherwin Williams, of course, as our go-to for educating in how to put together color palettes for our clients and understanding color, you can go to the DSA and our online color class, enter Sherwin Williams as your discount code, and it'll be half off. And that is only good until the next last Tuesday webinar. So, oh my gosh, Reyna, thank you so much. I'm going to put back, okay, Sherwin Williams, you guys got that code. I'm going to go back one slide so everybody can get your contact information. I'm going to pop out of the PowerPoint just so I can copy this and put it in the chat box for everybody in case they want to reach out to you. Maybe.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Feel free to reach out. And like I said, if I'm not your designated account executive, don't be discouraged. I can always get you in contact with the right person, or if they're unavailable for some reason, I can always happily help you out as well.
Okay, and then I also wanted to come right here and get this link for everybody. And then you will have this send to all. And yes, this was fabulous. We've got so many great comments in here. I will try my hardest to, I'm almost afraid to hit this right this minute. But what I will do is I will post this on Facebook or send you guys all a private link. How's that? I'll send you these links because I'm not able to see them and I'm afraid to lose sound. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And Reyna, thank you so much. And especially Dee Stevens, thank you for finding Reyna for us.
Well, no problem. She's worth $1 million to me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. This was absolutely great. Appreciate the participation as well. Great questions.
Yes, thank you so much, Reyna.
Thank you.
All right, well, you guys copy Dee and go out there and connect with your rep. Okay, if anybody's asking about your rep in your area, just go to Sherwin Williams, mysherwinwilliams.com, and just look for your state and you'll find them.
Isn't it just mysw.com?
I'm sorry, you're right, Carol. It is mysw.com, and look under your state. And let me tell you, don't be shy, because you know, guys, I move all the time. I've had so many reps, and they're happy. I mean, I call them like, I need 3 color decks, and they show up. They're happy to help you because they want you to, they want you to push their product. Let's be honest. And because we all understand it because of the color class, it's a great resource for you. And I do challenge everybody, and I need to be as good as I can be on, recoloring rooms so that I get good when the client sends me their photos. But I love the tip tonight about using your iPad.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We can always only be as successful as you are. So don't be shy. Don't be afraid. We'd love to talk to you.
Oh, that's a good tip. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. And we have one more last Tuesday for the year, and then we'll kick off 2021. And let's just hope and pray that it is an awesome year.
From your lips to God's ears.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Reyna. And we will see you next month.
Thank
All right.
you. Be well, everyone. Take care.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Dee.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.